Hey there, I'm Jessie, and I'm an American accent coach. And we have a lot to cover on this live today. So I'm going to go through everything question by question. And if you ever want to ask me a question, I will check the comments between questions. So feel free to comment where you are tuning in from, where you are watching from, and we're going to get started. So let's check out what. Hi, Instagram. So let's check things out. First off, I want to start off with a problem that I see a lot of my students struggle with. More specifically, students that already have a fairly decent level in English, that have a really good pronunciation, that can pretty much pronounce every sound perfectly. But in their day to day life, for some reason, their accent comes back. So, this is the real secret to mastering the American accent in your day-to-day life if you want your efforts to produce fruit. And that is once you have mastered a sound in American English. So maybe it's the TH as an example. You're able to say this and that and with and both, but in day-to-day English, somehow you go back to using sounds from your own language. You might be saying boat, wit, dis, dat. I'm going to tell you how to fix that. It's just by repetition and practice. When you practice these sounds on a regular basis correctly, you're going to be able to make those permanent changes to your English. And I just want to make sure you guys know this because it happens so often where I will have a student that when I ask them to read something, when I ask them to say words separately, they can pronounce it perfectly, but when they are in their day-to-day life, somehow they can't. It's just all about creating that muscle memory and just that habit of proper pronunciation, that American pronunciation. So, that's the secret. And a problem that a lot of my students have, and I'm referring to the ones that are so good at English, but somehow they have that foreign accent that pops up when they speak English in their day-to-day lives. So I have a question here that somebody asked on one of my videos, and that is how it should be how do you teach? So how do you teach a 5-year-old kid English? I think they're talking about this from the perspective of being a parent and they would like their child to speak English. To be honest, I am not a fan of sending kids to language schools, especially when they're young, like 5 years old. I think the key is to really have fun in a language that they're learning and to create an immersive experience. So I don't know if the person asking this question actually speaks English, maybe not as a first language. But if you do, speak English with your child. If you don't, you can still create an immersive environment. I'm just thinking about for myself, I want my child to speak 3 languages. So to do that, one of the ways is to listen to, their TV shows or songs and things like that in the language that you would like them to acquire that may not be a language that they would normally be exposed to. So things like that. Also, if there are like language clubs or language exchange groups in the city that you're living, especially ones that are family friendly, that could be a good opportunity to go to these events and to meet other English speaking families. Find other kids that speak English as a first language because it's really important that the child is able to have fun. And you don't acquire and learn a language by studying it. Like, that's what I personally believe, even if you're adult. But if you're 5 years old, you're not gonna be studying English. You wanna have fun, you wanna interact, you wanna realize when I say this, this means that, and you start to just absorb the language. Another thing that could be interesting, I don't know which, country this person is from, but sometimes in different cities, um, like where I live, it's French is the first language. In certain cities, there are groups of English speakers, English families. So there's like English family events. even like kids events in English. So when you bring your child to those events, they'll be able to interact with kids that speak English. But I would just say create an immersive environment as much as you can and make it fun. Like games, songs, TV shows, Dora the Explorer, stuff like that. Paw Patrol. I think Paw Patrol is something that kids at that age like. Just immersion and having fun and playing in the language and having people around them that are able to speak English. I don't know how easy or hard that is to find because I don't have a lot of context to this question. So again, if you're watching live, feel free to ask any question. Say hello, tell us where you are tuning in from. And I'm just going to put a little ticker here across the bottom of my screen on YouTube because I'm filming this on YouTube. Instagram, if you have questions, feel free to ask. So yeah, next. I'm just going to see what the next question is. Okay. This is something hard to confess, but it took me probably 15 years to learn what I am about to share with you within the next minutes. It is so important. In fact, this week I had a whole eureka moment, and I want to show you guys all about it. Comparing. So, if you are an English learner, you want to have the American accent, and you don't speak English as a first language. Comparing American English, like the rules and the habits of American English, connected speech, against or versus your language. This is going to help you to compare and contrast the differences between the languages so that you can better master American English. Okay. So I'm going to share with you how you can use this to improve your accent. This is something that it just hit me this week, and I'm like, I need to implement this. So I'm going to share with you my screen. I think this is going to blow your guys' mind. I'm going to share with you ChatGPT, a little conversation that I had with him, her, it. I don't know what ChatGPT is, but let me share with you. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we're going to share the screen here. And let's check it out. All right, so I'm going to give an example of, let's say, an Arabic speaker, okay? Because I had this conversation with ChatGPT. And this is what you can plug in your own language as well and just see the differences. Because sometimes you will speak English, you want to have an American accent, but you'll be like, oh, like there's something that doesn't sound right. I don't know what it is. Like you have these blind spots. Very often, well, I wouldn't say very often, but there's a lot of cases where it has to do with intonation and word stress. And it's hard to really pinpoint it sometimes. I know even for myself, when I listen to English learners, and I know that the intonation and the stress is off, but I'm not exactly sure what. It's really helpful to compare what the patterns are from the language of the first language of the English learner. So watch this. I asked ChatGPT, can you compare and contrast the rules of connected speech, stress, and intonation between American English and Arabic? Let's say Saudi Arabia, because some places, they'll have a different rules. Please include word stress, sentence stress, and any unnatural habits that might carry through to English as an Arabic speaker. So you can definitely copy and paste this. I think I'm gonna send this chat to my email list. Copy and paste this. Add your first language. If it's French, as a French speaker. If it's Spanish, as a Spanish speaker. So then this can help you identify and know what to correct. So ChatGPT will break it down. Connected speech. What's something that people who speak American English will do? What do people who speak, this will be your language? Um, and what are some common issues that French speakers, Arabic speakers, Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers, whatever you speak, have when they're trying to master or even just speak with an American accent? It'll go over word stress, right? Sentence stress, intonation. So it'll show kind of the different problems that you would have as a speaker, French, Spanish, Arabic, whatever you speak. Then you can get a nice table. If ChatGPT does not give you a table, ask for one. And you could see here, let's just pull an example here. Connected speech, American English. We have linking, flapping, reductions, right? We link our words together where, as for Arabic speakers, you can add your own language, of course. You'll see that there's overpronouncing of words. There's no flapping. Or, for example, when we talk about sentence stress, American English, it's stress time. There's weak function words. So instead of saying like to go to the mall, you'll say to go to the mall. Um, Instead of for, you might hear fur, right? There's a lot of things that can happen. Whereas you look at Arabic speakers, there's equal stress on all syllables. So if you are not aware of it, you may be talking like that in English. Sorry, I can't do the Arabic accent. But just knowing where to stress and where to, connect the words and stuff like that. Um, then it'll ask you if you want some exercises. If not, you can ask ChatGPT. Again, you could copy and paste these prompts. And yeah, so I'll give you the prompts in my email list, and I will also probably just give you a link to this chat so you can see this for yourself. So it can give you exercises. This is really helpful. ChatGPT can help you it could just help you so much. Next, I'm not going to show you the rest of this actually, but um, sometimes if you want to test out your sentences and you know how you would say it in English, you can say, can you write these sentences out and put in capital letters where the stress is, so you can see where the stress is, and put in bold what might potentially be a challenge or done incorrectly by an Arabic speaker, by a French speaker, by a Spanish speaker, whatever. And it's really cool because you can give them a sentence, ask, and it will show you compare and contrast. I'm not going to show you the end of this chat, but like I said, I'll send you the prompts through my email list. So if you guys are not on my email list, go check it out. And I'm going to stop sharing that for now. And I'm going to check out my chat to see if there's any comments. Hello, Jesus is in the house. The American Accent Playbook. Hey, Jesus, good job on the new mic. I'm glad you like it. It's my sure mic. Hello, hi. All right, next it says the problem is that teachers in foreign countries teach accents. They don't know native, like they don't actually know native pronunciation. Yes and no. Yeah, I know what you mean, and I've even shared that with whoever has watched my American Accent Framework mini course. It's free. Go down the description if you want access to it. But I've shared that when you have teachers that have accents, like a foreign accent, that is the accent that you're going to inquire. If they make grammar mistakes, those are the mistakes that you're going to start like making as well. But I should say this, just because English is not your native language doesn't mean you cannot speak English perfectly. And I love that Jesus is here because he is a perfect example. If you've checked out the other lives I've done with Jesus, you'll know that English is not his first language. Spanish is, but he speaks English perfectly with an American accent, and he is an American accent coach. So, I totally agree with this comment, but I say be careful because there are English teachers and English coaches that do speak perfect American English or whatever English you they've mastered, um, even though English may not be their first language, which is super incredible. If you have any more questions, let me know. I'm just gonna say hi to everyone on Instagram because I kind of am ignoring them. There we go. Hey guys, hello, hello. Next, again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna go to the next question, but actually, just before, we're gonna have a quick little a quick little ad break.
Hey there, do you enjoy my videos and find them helpful? If so, I would like to invite you to support my channel financially. This allows me to continue to make content and help English learners. One of the ways that you can support me is by joining my Patreon as a paid member. And hey, if you have a product, course, or service that you would like me to create to help you improve your pronunciation and reduce your foreign accent, I would love for you to click the link down in the description where there will be a short survey letting you tell me what I can make for you to help you improve your English. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
All right, so next, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go on to the next part, and that is I want to do a little language learning app demonstration. I have an app. I've talked about it in my other videos, and it is an app where you talk to AI bots, which is really fun because you get to practice your English, right? Or whatever language you're learning. And if you put the settings to get feedback when you're speaking to them, if you make mistakes, you get corrected. And that's something that is really important that if you want to make less mistakes, less obvious mistakes in English, get feedback. Whether that means hiring a coach or a tutor that every time you make a mistake, they correct you, you will start to be able to identify those mistakes that you've made, and then you'll start to self-correct, and then you'll start to not make those mistakes anymore, which can be expensive. And not every teacher or tutor corrects mistakes, which I think is kind of too bad because that's one of my favorite things when I have learned another language is to have a teacher, you know, point out the mistakes. These are the mistakes I've heard. What do you think the mistake is? This is how you correct it. Because as you get this repetitive feedback, you start to be able to correct those mistakes and just not make them anymore. Because you don't realize they're a mistake, obviously, if you keep on saying things incorrectly, right? So um, I'm so really excited for this. I'm gonna get this ready. If you have any questions, let me know. Some of you guys might know what it is. Hello, Jackson. Hi, hey from Brazil. Your audio is good with this mic. Thank you. I just bought this. I figured why not? I want to invest in clear your audio. So thank you. I think my gain might be too high, but thank you. Thank you, Jackson. All right, so it is langotalk. And I'm actually going to speak in English with this AI bot. And I want you guys to kind of see what it's like. All right. So you can't really see this, but you could have different chats where it gets like the conversation gets to about talking about yourself, and then it gets to like interests and hobbies and all that. I'm sorry if I'm flipping off. But you can also have like random chats that are just kind of like fun. So let's say I'm going to set it to English because I want to pretend I'm practicing my English, but I use it for my Spanish. So right here on the corner, you will click the American flag, and you can find your partner. It's kind of like Tinder the way it's set up. So it's like find a character you like and talk about endless topics, okay? And then you click find a new partner. Then it will show you someone. It's really not, it's not real people. I'll show you guys here. And then it says like I'm 28 male, outdoor enthusiast from Denver, whatever. So then I'll swipe because I want them as a partner. And I match. How amazing is that? And then Jessica, she's curious. She's a curious mom exploring diverse parenting styles and traditions. Oh, I'm gonna say yes, I wanna match with her. And then I'm gonna start chatting, okay? So I'm gonna share with you guys what it's like.
Had a rough morning. My sweater got caught in the dishwater. Ever have clumsy days like that?
Okay, she kind of has an accent here. Normally they don't. All right, so she says, she talks to me. So she says, ever have clumsy days like that? I'm gonna make a mistake, an English mistake. I'm gonna make sure that my feedback settings are on. Yeah, quick feedback. I'll say, yes, me have clumsy days like that. Okay, and then it will type out what I say. And then you'll see right here that it says, well, I guess she doesn't have an accent. It was just choppy the first time. So she has great response, but it should be I have instead of me have. So you'll see that you get instant feedback, right? And then you can just keep on going, talking with this person, an AI bot. But what I like is, like I mentioned, you can hire a coach, you can hire a tutor, a teacher, um, and get that feedback. But if you're paying by the hour, sometimes it's just best to just get an app or something that will constantly correct you, that you pay like one fee for the month. And yeah, it's helpful. It really is. Um, that's it. So I'm hoping that helps some of you guys. Next thing I want to make a quick little announcement. Um, join my wait list. If you speak English at an intermediate or advanced level and you've pretty much mastered a lot of the sounds, you can pronounce things in a way that people understand you. But you know that something is not quite right and you want to be able to have like master the rhythm, the flow, and the stress of English, American English. Down below, I have a wait list that I'm starting. I hope to start that program in September. So, for those who want to start earlier, to sign up early on my wait list, you guys will get a special discount. And then after the price goes up, and then the price will go up again, and it'll go up again when I actually launch. And this is to find people who want to try out the program with me. Um, most of my programs in the later stages, there will not be interaction with me. But in the beta founding program, the first time that I do it, I do want to allow my students to have access to me with Zoom calls. So if that interests you, check it out down in the description. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone here? If not, that is okay. And I'm gonna go over this right here. So I'm gonna do something. I wonder if I can go on a quick little break. If I could pause this. No, I can't. Um, I'm just figuring things out. All right. Um, all right, let's do it. I am going to do a few things actually. I'm just deciding which one I want to do first. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, by the way. All right, so I had a while back, I did a video reviewing somebody's accent and pronunciation. He was from India. And I mentioned that some of the things that he should work on is the V sound, right? Like the V versus the W sound. So the V, remember your teeth are going to be on your bottom lip, and then for the W sound, whoa, whoa, whoa. So instead of saying what or will, you don't say what or will. And another thing I mentioned was the R. So a lot of Indian speakers will either not pronounce the R, like if it's in the middle of the word, like they'll say for instead of for. Um, or they will have more of like a harsh, or like at the end of the word, like better instead of better. Or in the beginning, they'll have more of a harsh R, like really, really. But there's some other things that I want to say to this person and to give feedback on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice white sheet out, and then we're going to go through it together. I kind of thought that I had this ready, but I didn't. All right. All right, all right, all right. So we're going to listen to it. If you guys want to listen to it and see what kind of mistakes or like pronunciation mistakes that you hear, feel free to listen for it. You can kind of maybe guess what you think it is. And even if you don't, you can listen to the corrections that I make. So I'm going to try and find this again. Let's listen. I'm hoping this works with the mic. I'm actually going to get this here too.
Agora, eu tenho a função de so I speak the language and I'm in Canada in a work in a permanent residency. So previously I was working in Dubai. It's been like 2 years since I came to this wonderful country, and I'm specifically looking for something like improving my accent and understanding Canadian English much better. And then I just want to converse with
Okay, I know why it's not really working that well. It's because I listened to my voice messages at like 2 times speed. Okay, let's try it again. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
agency. I'm Ram Kumar. I'm hailing from South India. So I speak Tamil language, and I'm in Canada in a permanent residency. So previously I was working in Dubai. It's been like 2 years since I came to.
Okay. So the first part, it didn't catch it. Oops. All right. You guys can't see my screen yet, I don't think. I thought you guys could. This is the most chaotic live I've ever done. Okay. I'll let you guys see my screen, which I thought I already did. Okay. Share screen. Let's do this. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free. Okay. I'm gonna share my entire screen. There we go. I'm opening up a Word document, so you guys will see that it's going to record this message. And put the volume up here.
I'm Ram Kumar. I'm hailing from South India. I speak Tamil language, and I'm in Canada in a permanent residency. So previously I was working in Dubai. It's been like 2 years since I came to this wonderful country.
Okay, there we go. All right, so he started off saying, "Good morning, good morning," and when I repeat it, it's not making fun of the person. It's just to try to share with you what I'm hearing. So I don't think I heard the R. Good morning. When you are, when we, how do I say this? I find that a lot of Indian speakers will like speak really fast with the vowels. Where I've heard this one, I think it's an accent coach. He was saying like the vowels are the star of the show. So if you are a speaker of an Indian language, be careful to like be like to not properly pronounce the vowels. So for example, we're going to say good morning, and you can repeat whenever I say something. Good morning, not good morning. Good morning. All right, you want to pronounce the R. You want to give the O. The spotlight. Good morning. Good morning. And you'll even notice that I kind of got rid of the good. Sometimes you'll hear native speakers say good morning. Good morning. But I am exaggerating the vowels just because this is something that a lot of speakers of Indian language struggle with. So, good morning. For example, when I go to the office, I see coworkers. Usually, how I'll say it, I'll say good morning. Good morning. So feel free to repeat after me just to get the feel for what it feels like to say things like a native speaker. And next, I don't really know what he meant by hailing. I am. I'll say I am. And then we'll listen to it again just to hear how he said that.
Agency. I'm Ram Kumar. I'm hailing from South India.
From South India. I am from South India. South India. You know what? I'm even going to do some connected speech here. I'm going to write on the screen too, if I can. I don't think I can. So I'm Kumar. I am from South India. And you'll notice that we just kind of say South India. It's like the T kind of goes the next word from South India. I think it's Tamil language. So I speak Tamil, I think. Man, when I'm on Zoom with students, I usually can write on the screen. So I'm really kind of thrown off by the fact that I can't write on the screen. So I have been in Canada. Yeah, no, I feel like I can't even teach because I can't write on the screen. One day I'll learn how to do that so I can actually properly teach on a live here. I'm a lot better on when it's not live. When I'm on Zoom, I feel like I can actually teach. But anyways. All right. The house. Again, I like this question. I love this question. And I don't know if you guys have seen my ChatGPT guide. This is the question. These are the kind of questions that you can ask ChatGPT. And I want you guys to see how I do this. So I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT and share with you how to use it for that. So the house, I would say the house where I live. I think it's technically in grammatically, but we don't always say that. So you know what? I'm going to share with you something really fun. So thank you for asking that, Jackson. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to share my screen. All right. There we go. There we go. Share. And you asked a really good question. So let's check this out. Okay. I have, like I said, a whole PDF. If you're on my email list, you have it for free. So you said, is in English, do we say, I'm just going to double check it really quickly. The house I live in or the house in which I live. Okay. House I live in or the house in which I live. And I'll tell you right now before I click enter. In which I live, it's very fancy. Probably at school, your teacher would ask you to say in which I live. But I would just say the house I live in or the house where I live. But let's see what ChatGPT says. Because I love ChatGPT. So the house I live in is more common in everyday speech and informal writing. The house in which I live, it sounds like I should be speaking like the queen when I say that. This is more formal and is often used in written English. So the house I live in is better. Like is better, is more natural, I'll say, is more natural. But this is correct, the bottom one. In casual conversation, native speakers are more likely to say the house I live in, which is what I said. However, in formal writing, in which it can sound more polished. I love the question. I love it. I'm going to see if you guys have any other questions because I saw that there was. The house I live in. Okay. Same thing. So I have a question here saying I want to learn English because I love the English language, but I arrive second stage in university. In second stage, do you mean like it's your second year? Do you mean it's like a master's? Because we have like bachelor's degree, master's degree, and then we have a PhD. Is that what you mean? Department English language. My native language is Arabic, but I want to improve my English. I love that you asked this. Or I love that you said this. I have some recommendations for you. First of all, thank you for the question. Shukran. But I don't know if you've checked out my YouTube channel, but I have a whole set of playlists. I have playlists that can help you improve your pronunciation to speak more like a Canadian/American, um, which I'm curious where you're going to be working. I also have a playlist on common English mistakes, so if you ever want to test your English, you can watch my videos. Usually, I will have a sentence, I'll have a mistake there, and I'll give you 3 seconds to guess what the mistake is, then I'll say it. So this is a great way to reinforce, like, can you spot the mistake? If you cannot, you might be making that mistake, right? I have accent reduction tips, all that kind of stuff. So I would say watch my videos, like, share it with your friends and whatnot. But yeah, I think it'd be really helpful. So I was going to do a little bit more for my live, like I had other questions, but instead, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to answer questions that you guys have. So if you have any more questions, please, 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 please tell me. Ask me. Tell me your questions. So you said I want your advice, please. Yeah, I would say just practice. Watch all my videos. Share my videos with your friends. But no, but for real, as you can see down here, I have a bunch of different videos. If you wanna work on mistakes, check out my playlist on common English mistakes. If you wanna improve your pronunciation, speak more like an American, watch my, American pronunciation or speak like an American/Canadian playlist. I have also a playlist on tips for learning English. So if you have questions about, like, I don't know, like, what are some ideas for improving your English? Yeah. But yeah, you said, "I'd like to know what is more common." Yeah, I would say the house wait, there we go. Uh, the house I live in. Yeah, the first one. The house I live in is really, more common. It sounds more natural. You'll notice too that, English speakers, we make mistakes. We do make English mistakes, like grammar mistakes, but they're not obvious to each other. Like, if I how do I say this? There are mistakes that English speakers will make, and there's mistakes that non-native speakers will make. So these are really obvious, non-native speakers, like the mistakes that they make. But for English speakers, there's a lot of things that we say that's incorrect or simple or less classy. But I'm hoping that helps. Um, mm, okay. So I see that you wrote that again. Um, but yeah, let me know if you have any questions regarding that. I think I'll wait another like 30 seconds to 60 seconds to allow you to ask a question or to comment that you're still here, if you do have a question as well. So while I'm waiting to see if you guys have any questions, because I see that there are some, I'm going to share my screen and yeah, I'm going to share with you something that I actually was looking into the other day. Because there's this, how do I say this? It's very possible sorry, this is not related to this comment. Something that I realized way in my language journey was that it's very possible to have perfect pronunciation, however, still not be understood or it still be difficult for people to understand you. I realized this more specifically when I had a student that I had in my office when I was working at a college, and she was speaking to me, and I was like, "Man, like, she's hard to understand, she's difficult to understand." And then when I was thinking about, like, how can I give her feedback on her pronunciation was good, it was okay, but sometimes it's stress. So this is just, like, a random topic, but if you are trying to perfect your English, it's important to look at the stress, the syllable stress, the intonation of English to really perfect your English or your American English, your American accent. So I'm gonna share with you a little ChatGPT, conversation that I've had, um, where if you have these kind of questions or if you struggle with this could be really helpful for you. So I will give this to my email subscribers as well. So, can you provide me with basic rules of when and where to stress a syllable or stress a word? For example, if there are one 2 or 3 or more syllables if it is a noun, an adjective, verb, etc. I'm going to send this to you guys. So if you're not on my email list, sign up. So as you can see here, there's like different rules. If it's if it's a one syllable word, if it's a 2-syllable word, if it's 3 syllables, whatever, like the stress is different. And that can totally change the meaning as well. If you say the stress wrong. So that's just another thing to know. I feel like I'm just trying to buy time and allow you guys to ask questions if you have any questions. Yep. I'm gonna stop sharing because I feel like this isn't necessarily helpful, but I will send this. Yeah, I'll send this to whoever's on my email list and you'll be able to look at this. And I'm gonna come back. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Bueller? No, there isn't. I think I'm just gonna end it here because I don't know what else to say. All right. So if you guys want to improve your English, check out my channel, share my channel with your friends, and I hope that this stream was helpful for you guys. Take care. Bye.